Hey, what is happening? My name is Jared and welcome to episode 8 of the cabin build. This afternoon I'm going to be working on cladding this wall in the same cladding as I've done on the front here. Obviously still needs painting. The dogs are up here helping me. So yeah, this afternoon I'm going to be doing this. In this episode, like I mentioned in the last one, I'd love to get this wall cladded, also do the handrail, and then seeing how much time I've got as well, painting the rest of the cabin as well, to try and get the outside done. Then we can move on to the inside and do the loft bed and other things like that inside. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, so with the boards, I'm using what's called hardy plank boards. They're a compressed fibro cement board. I have a mix of old ones from previous job sites. Those ones over there are a bit wider, but I'm sure I can cut them down and make them work. And then this one here is actually wood grain, whereas the majority of them that I'm using are smooth. Yeah, like I said, these ones are off job sites that weren't used, and I've had to buy 10 more new ones, and that should get me right to the top hopefully. And yeah, they're 4.2 long, 230mm wide. The way they work is you put your first board on, then do a 30mm measurement down, and then the next board overlaps 30mm, making them watertight. Okay, so with these cladding boards, I cut them with a 18-volt grinder, just with a diamond blade in it. Whips through them pretty quickly. I fixed them with a 40mm clout head nail. Clout heads obviously being that the heads are really skinny and they sink in nice and look good. I've also put these 2 older bottom boards on, and now we're into the new boards. The reason you can only see a little bit of that board as compared to seeing, you know, the full 200mm, and then that one's only about 100mm, is because to get it to line up with around the corner. As you can see, that's a perfect line there. So yeah, that'll be even the whole way up. And yeah, the way I keep them even, there's obviously many different ways of doing it, but the easiest way is to just use the square around the corner, put a little pencil line there as you can see, and Bob's your uncle. So let's keep whipping some more boards on there. As you can see, something I complain a lot about. Well, not complain, but just talk about a lot when I'm working on the cabin. It's quite difficult to do this sort of stuff on your own. If I had someone here to help me, that would have taken a third of the time as it did just then. But that's how it is. My brother was just up here, my younger brother that you've seen in one of the previous episodes. He was helping me put the bottom board on to get it right. But yeah, that's just one of the struggles while you're doing a cabin build like this. There's always ways around it, and it might take a little bit longer, but yeah, get there in the end. Okay, so I've got these last couple boards on now. It's starting to get a bit dark, so I'm not going to do much more. But put this one on here, cut around the window, and then those other 2 on. Before I go up any higher, I need to put some extra blocking in there to nail into. As you can see, I haven't been able to nail that part yet. But yeah, starting to take shape, starting to look good. Once I clean all these older boards up, they should look good. But yeah, catch you in the next one. final board for the whole cabin. Then we're done. She's a funky one. Let's see if it fits. Okay, so as you would have seen in the last couple clips, I've been dressing up these old hardwood rails. That's what they look like before, and gave them a plane and sanded them with 2 different types of sandpaper, and they've come up pretty nice. These are what I'm going to use as the handrail on the deck on the front of the cabin, obviously. I've got one here and then one also in the back of my ute. So what my plan is with these will be the top plate, the top piece, you know, when you can sit your beer on there, and the part you'll be leaning on. Then I'm also going to have a rail underneath, maybe 4x2, 90/45, on its side like this for support. And then I might even have a post in the middle as well, just in case, you know, being old hardwood, if you've ever worked with it before, you know it can bow and twist and warp all over the place with a bit of rain. And because these are going to be exposed outside, even though they're going to be coated, all the extra support I can put on there will help. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. These are all sanded up now. I'll take them up to the cabin and check them out and put them in the posts, and then we'll be able to put the supports in as well. Okay, so this is the finished product of the handrail. As you can see, I've done, like I said in the previous clip, and used the top wide rail on the top and then a stiffening piece underneath, which is approximately about 50 by 50 mil. It's all hardwood. I also used a center post to break up the gap in between each span here to keep it nice and stiff, stop it from twisting. Come up a treat, I did a miter here around the post as well, as you can see there, and checked it around the post. I'm really happy with the rails I picked. They've got a couple old nail holes in here, some black sap veins in them. They've come up really nice. Okay, so about to chuck the eave sheets up, and I thought I'd just run through the way I'm doing it and why I'm doing it like this. Because originally I had planned to trim out the battens up here, so I put a batten here and then have another batten up higher, and then the eave sheets would be recessed into the rafters, so you'd be able to see the rafters, kind of like how I've done the eave over here. The reason I'm not doing that, first, because it's going to be too hard to get the extra batten in there now, and also because of my top plate height. I'll still have a gap here once that extra batten goes on. So the way I'm doing it now is I'm just going to nail straight up to these rafters. There's going to be a little lip here of the fibro that you'll be able to see, but it'll tuck in nicely up the top here, and I think it'll look pretty nice. So there'll be 2 joins in it, because you can only get your eave sheets in 2.4, but once it's all painted, you'll never know, so I think it'll look good. Okay, so that eaves up the whole way now. It tidies it up pretty well. This is all in here is really tight, so I don't have to worry about any ants or spiders or anything getting inside. And this is pretty neat along this edge the whole way, so just got to give it a bit of paint, and then this wall will be completely done then. Okay, so I think I'll leave it there for this episode. Didn't quite get everything done that I said I was going to, that being the painting. It is done now though, I just haven't shown in this episode. I want to keep this one short and sweet. So yeah, keep an eye out for the next episode. I'll show the painting and do a bit of a walkthrough of everything I've done around the cabin so far. A lot's been going on in the last couple of weeks, and it's getting there. The inside's nearly ready to start happening. So yeah, make sure you keep an eye out for the next episode. Thanks for watching this one, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.